May soybeans were modestly higher on a fairly important key USDA report day, which comes as a very interesting development considering all the happenings that we did have on this report. Now, let me preface this by saying that a lot of times this February report is not a major report in the calendar year. It does take on a fairly significant level of importance when we have a lot of curiosity about what's going on in South America and how the USDA will react to a lot of the reports that we've been hearing. And today was one of those days. This has been a situation like that because the Brazilian growing season, their first season, which is really their soybean season, had not been without its trials and tribulations. Certainly hot and dry periods, especially in some of the very key growing areas like Mato Grosso, for example. So how was the USDA going to treat that Brazilian number? Well, before that report comes out at 11 o'clock Central Time, we have Conab, which is the Brazilian reporting agency, i.e. sort of like the Brazilian USDA, I guess we could call it, came out with their guesses. And they lowered their Brazilian soybean crop by not quite, just under 6 million metric tons. So at the last minute, the trade had been thinking that, the expectations for that Brazilian soybean crop only coming down about 4.5 million metric tons might be too small. And I think that triggered a little short covering before that report came out. However, that report did come out and the USDA did lower Brazilian production to 157 million metric tons, but that is only down 1 million metric tons and well above the trade estimate of 153 million metric tons. In fact, it's only 5 million metric tons lower than the USDA's original estimate of 163 million metric tons. That was very disappointing for the would-be bulls in the grain market, and it was a really negative number. However, and bear with me, U.S. carryover, again, we're going to go more of the same. You're going to sense a theme here. That came in 35 million bushels higher than last month at a 315 million bushel carryover. The estimate was 284. The USDA lowered exports by 35 million bushels, and that went directly on the ending stocks number. So domestic ending stocks coming in much higher than expected. Global ending stocks came in on 116 million bushels, 116 million metric tons. Okay, the trade was expecting 112.5 million metric tons. And that was actually an increase from last month when the trade was looking for a decrease. So all these numbers came in a lot higher than the market was expecting. But as I said at the beginning, soybeans actually were just slightly positive on the day after kind of a wild day, a wild ride today. And even before all that, we had our export sales report, which showed 341,000 metric tons of soybeans sold during the last week. That was below the trade expectation of 400 to 1 million. And it actually included 495,000 of reductions to unknown destinations. So none of these numbers were really very good, yet we closed positive on the day. Not 100% sure of what to make out of that. One of two things might be going on here. We could be looking at a delayed reaction either tomorrow or early next week, or this could be suggesting that the market has factored in a lot of the bearish news and we might be looking at some sort of profit-taking short covering rally in the near future. Really curious to see how this ends up over the next few days. And there's a lot of questions to be answered after this report, which was supposed to answer a lot of questions and did answer a lot of questions. But now we have questions about where the market goes from here. So everybody stay tuned, have a wonderful day, and stay safe.